Hey guys, welcome back to A Spoonful of Motherhood. My name is Emily, and today I really wanted to talk about a question that I get asked often, and it is, Emily, why do you homeschool? And it is a very interesting question because me and my husband were both public school kids, and that was, it was normal, and that was what we did, and so naturally, that's what people assume, you're supposed to do with your kids, and so it's a very interesting question that I am going to answer today. So, why do we homeschool? Okay, so we started out not homeschooling. We sent my oldest son, he went through preschool and he went through kindergarten all in public school. And it was just not serving us well. He would go to school, I would drop him off in the morning and he would already be crying. And the tears, he would just be crying in a corner until lunchtime just about every day. And the teachers just had too many students to really give him that individualized attention that he needed. And he suffered from anxiety and things like that. And they just weren't equipped to be able to help him because they had so many other students. So he was kind of left in a corner crying by himself every day. And I didn't get a whole lot of communication. And so I would get the weekly schoolwork that they would bring home each week, and everything looked great, right? Like he was getting all the smiley faces, all the 100s, everything was fine on his worksheets. And then I would get his report card, and his report card wouldn't really reflect what his schoolwork was showing. And so I'm like, so were you doing this as a class buddy? Like, what's going on? I don't know. And then come to find out, I would be talking to the teacher, and the teacher is like, yeah, well, we do that as a class. He's not doing it by himself. So I'm like, okay, so he's not grasping the material. And masks were still a thing when he was in kindergarten, and so he got behind on speech because he wasn't able to see the teachers articulate with their mouth. And so it was just, so we're forwarding through the end of the school year, the last quarter, and I'm just like, okay, something's got to give because this is not thriving. We are surviving. My son is miserable. He is not really learning anything. And, bullying is an issue. Why are we doing this? I said, so I really started feeling this pull and this calling. And I went to my husband. I said, I think I know what we need to do. I think we need to pull him out and we need to homeschool. And he was not on board at first. He was just kind of like, I love you, Emily, and you're amazing, but are you qualified to really homeschool our kids? You don't have an education degree. And I'm like, you're right. I don't have an education degree, but what I do have is a calling from God. And God gave us these children because he knew that we were the best people for the job. He knew that we were the best people to help grow our children into loving Christ followers and productive members of society, right? So that's what we want for our children. We want our children to love the Lord. We want our children to be productive members of society, to be happy, all of those things. And it is our job to make sure that happens to an extent. And I was like, so gosh darn it, I'm going to do everything that I can to make that happen. So, so then he reluctantly was like, okay, we can homeschool for the year and see how it goes. And I said, okay, great, let's do that. And so that was kind of when, and we talked to my son about it and everything, and he was very much on board. He's like, yes, please, I want to be homeschooled. And I said, okay, great. So we pulled him out. And that was kind of the start of our homeschool journey. And it's been great. So I will say that for the better part of the year was spent kind of untangling these institutionalized learning habits that me and my husband had, and up to this point my son had, because that's the way we knew. We knew public school system education. And so through untangling all of this, I've kind of realized, like, first of all, education is extremely, extremely important. And so we hit the phonics hard. We learn the math, we do the science, we do the reading, we do the social studies, we do all the things. But throughout that, we also have dove into cooking and baking, and my son is really into Legos, so he's going to be starting in the fall a Lego robotics class. And so all of these doors have opened with opportunities that would not have happened had we kept him in that public institution. And and so it's been very eye-opening and beautiful to see. And I know what people are wondering, but what about socialization? And I plan to do a whole video on debunking the myth that children who are homeschooled aren't socialized. I can promise you all of my children are perfectly normal socialized beings. Our extracurricular activities are through the roof. They love hanging out with their friends. They are part of co-ops, and I mean, their life is nothing but going out and socializing, and which is great. I've seen my son, he is thriving. He has totally come out of his shell, and he is an introvert. So no, he's never going to be the most socialized person in the room. However, he is no longer afraid or scared to talk to people, and it's okay that I'm not right next to him. He is thriving, and he is happy, and he is smart. And like, what a blessing is that for me to be able to see that firsthand. And that is it's beautiful. And I mean, I wish that I had a magic potion to give everybody of like, okay, but being with your children all day, how do you do it? Like, do you just do they not get on your nerves? Like, yes, they get on my nerves, okay? They irritate me. They do. They drive me insane most days, okay? I don't have a magic fix for that. I'm not special because I deal with it. I've just chosen to make this decision for my family. And, I love my kids. We're around each other all the time. And yeah, that's a lot. And it can be very difficult. But through that, we learn how to navigate those things and kind of push past them. And after a while, you get used to it too. And I will say that your selective hearing, it gets even better than it was before. And so as I was thinking about doing this video, this passage kind of came up from the Bible that was really speaking to me that I just wanted to share. And it is, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's Joshua 24:15. And so as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And how can we serve the Lord? And by us serving the Lord, it is answering his calling to us. And that calling was oh so clearly made that we were meant to homeschool our children. And it's such an amazing feeling. And it is a feeling that I can't describe until you do it. And it is hard. There are hard days, but it is so rewarding to see your child finally, remember how to spell that word, to see your child working so hard on, baking a cake and finally able to do it by themselves, or finally being able to crack that egg without a shell falling into the bowl. I mean, it's just little things like that in our ordinary, just normal day-to-day life where you're just like, I see it. You caught it. You got it. Finally, we've been working on it for 6 months and you just mastered it. It's just the little things like that. And it warms my heart. And so kind of answer some other, do I think that homeschooling is for everybody? No, maybe not. not necessarily. But what I do know is that God gave you your children because you are the best person to raise and teach and mold them. And so as long as, if your kid's thriving in public school and you're happy and they're happy and life's great, that's awesome. Why would you take them out? You don't have a reason to. But if you have a calling or a little nudge, just be like, why don't you pull your kid out and maybe homeschool them and see, listen to that calling, because that might be God just saying, like, I have something extraordinary planned for you and I need you to follow me. And that is exactly what we did. And it's so beautiful. And this is my story and this is our experience, and everybody's going to have their own stories. Mine might look extremely different from yours, and that's okay. That's great. That is the beautiful thing about, all the different people of the world, is that we all have our own different stories and our experiences, and God loves us all the same. And that is incredible. And so I just wanted to share our story and our experience through the reason that we chose to homeschool, and we will continue. I plan to homeschool my middle and my youngest as well, and even through high school. I get asked a lot. Yeah, even through high school, at this point, I am always open to the Lord. If He calls us to do something different, then we will definitely listen. However, at this point, I don't ever see ourselves putting them in public school for high school. But I've also learned never say never. But as for now, I'm going to say, yeah, we plan to homeschool all 3 of our kids all the way through. And it is just, it's been a blessing for our family. And so I really just wanted to share it and, express, our story. And maybe you're having some feelings too. And I have to say, if you are feeling that pull, maybe look deeper into it and explore that a little bit. And so, yeah, so now I'm ranting. This was my little spiel for the day. But I must say, we are packing, we're getting ready to go to the beach, and it's chaotic out there, so I really need to get back out there and help them pack, but I did want to sit down and just kind of tell you guys our story. So that's it for now. But you guys have a good week and hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.